जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपदा जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रत्यक्ष स्तोत्र सदस्य श्रीमती स्वयं श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन संस्थापक श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रत्यक्ष स्तोत्र सदस्य श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद श्रील किशोर दास महाराज की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद सच्चिदानंद श्रील भक्ति ठाकुर की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद वैष्णव साधु श्री जगन्नाथ दास महाराज की जय। जय श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास नाशक गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से गो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौरी भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री श्री गौरांगी बैंगलोरीश्वर भगवान की जय। श्री मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय। इस्कॉन वर्तमान गुरुवंद की जय। समाज भक्तवंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंद all glories to the assemblies, all glories to the assemblies, all glories to the assemblies, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Pyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Apatreshu Nityam Bhagavatsya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Pavati Naishtigi Moham Karode Vachalam Kunkum Nage Devim Natkapad Mahamande Shri Guru Nadanam Parmanda Madam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Hare Krishna. So tomorrow being Gaura Purnima, I've been asked to speak today on some Gaura Katha, which I will start now. I'll start with a verse describing the Panchatattva. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. The translation is, let me offer my obeisances unto Lord Sri Krishna, who has manifested himself in five as a devotee, expansion of a devotee, incarnation of a devotee, pure devotee, and devotional energy. So I'll go into a little bit of detail in this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Bhakta Rupa, or a form of a devotee. That means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the form of a devotee. And Nityananda Prabhu is called Bhakta Swarupa, an expansion of a devotee. Advaita Acharya is called Bhakta Avataram, that means incarnation of a devotee. Advaita Acharya was a combined incarnation of Lord Vishnu and Sadashiva. And Gadadhar, as the energy of the Lord, was none other than Srimati Radharani, and Srivas, as the Bhaktakyam, or a pure devotee, was Narad Muni. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Krishna, Nityananda Prabhu was Balaram, Advaita Acharya was combined incarnation of Mahavishnu and Sadashiva, Gadadhara was Srimati Radharani, and Srivas Pandita was a pure devotee, was Narad Muni. So this is how the five appeared, and they are known as the Panchatattva. Of the five, the first three, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Advaita Acharya, are called predominators or Prabhus. One of them is Mahaprabhu, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Mahaprabhu, and the other two Prabhus serve the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. That is Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya, they both serve Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There is one more quote in the Upapurana where Lord Krishna tells Vyasadeva, Ahameva kvachit brahman sanyasasramamasritaha haribhaktim grahyami kalopapa hatan naran. Translation says, O learned Brahmana, sometimes I accept the renounced order of life to induce the fallen people of the age of Kali to accept devotional service to the Lord. So this is also a declaration by the Lord himself, where he says that sometimes he comes by taking the renounced order, that is the sannyasa order, just to induce the fallen people of Kali Yuga to accept the devotional service to the Lord. Now we will go into how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and some of his pastimes. So it is said that one time Lord Krishna and Rukmini were talking to each other. And that is the time when Narada Muni came in, and he was full of anxiety and he was fully disturbed. So Rukmini offered a seat to Narada Muni, and then Krishna bathed his feet and inquired the reason for the disgust of Narada Muni. So Narada Muni's voice was choked up, and his body was also shaking, seeing Krishna. So Krishna asked Narada Muni, why are you so much disturbed and why are you so unhappy? You are more dear to me than my own life, and if it devastates me to see you in such a pitiable condition. So Narada Muni replied, my dear Lord, what shall I say? You know everything that exists in this world, because you are the super soul. But the Lord, as super soul, is present in everyone's heart and everywhere. Then he said, I travel everywhere preaching your glories. But however, I see that the common man, they are not interested in chanting your glories in general, and see the people mostly in their conditioned state. It gives me a lot of great pain seeing them devoid of Krishna consciousness. I don't find any means of deliverance of these souls. Now that I have revealed this to you, now I feel relieved. So once Narad Muni revealed this to Krishna, then Krishna just smiled and said, listen, Narada, you have forgotten about a previous event. Don't you remember the time I gave you Mahaprasad and you gave it to Shiva and he danced in ecstasy? And Parvati Devi then at that time didn't get it, but she promised to distribute my Mahaprasad to all the living entities all over the universe. And I want to promise you that in the age of Kali, I will manifest a form that is filled with humility, and I shall become a devotee of myself to taste that happiness relished by my devotees. That means actually this was a pastime that happened in Dwaraka. Um, and Narad Muni being disturbed, he spoke to Krishna, and Krishna said that you have forgotten about a previous pastime where it happened that I gave you some Mahaprasad and you gave it to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva had, and then he was dancing in ecstasy. So this way, the Lord was trying to recollect, was trying to make Narad Muni recollect this old pastime. So what happened was, and then the Lord says that I will come as my own devotee to show the whole world how to perform devotional service, and I'll manifest a form which is filled with humility. So the entire lifespan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you look at almost all the pastimes were all done in his form of humility. The Lord expressed extreme humility in most of his pastimes. And then he said that I will come as a devotee of my own self to taste the happiness relished by my devotees. So in the association of devotees, he says that I shall freely distribute love for me, performing the Sankirtana. So the Lord appeared basically to spread the Sankirtana movement. He said, I will appear in the transcendental abode of Navadvipa in the womb of Sachimata. My transcendental body will be tall, molten gold in color, and my arms will be long and beautiful. Saying this, the Lord revealed the form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu to Narad Muni. And seeing this, Narad Muni actually immediately came into ecstasy and tears started coming out of his eyes. And Narad Muni could not control himself at that time. Then after that, the Lord withdrew this form, and then seeing this, the Lord withdrew the form, and then he told Narad Muni, now you go and tell everywhere in the universe that very shortly I am going to appear in Kali Yuga as Gauranga and will establish the Yuga Dharma. So as you all know, the Yuga Dharma for the current age of Kali is nothing else but chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Then he said, I will establish the Yuga Dharma and also personally preach the glories of devotion service and give the bliss of Krishna Prema to each and everyone. I will preach the love of God to unite all people. I will appear along with my friends and followers, and along with them, I will cherish my desire to release the pure love that my devotees have for me. So actually, pure devotees have love for the Lord, but one of the reasons is that the Lord does not know how much of love they have. So that is one of the reasons the Lord appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After hearing this, then Narad Muni immediately left with his veena and he started going around everywhere singing. Narad Muni always travels everywhere singing the glories of the Lord Narayana, Narayana. So after this, the Narad Muni left and he started singing the glories of the Lord and contemplating on the beautiful form that he saw at that time. So first he came to Naimisharanya, where Uddhava was there. Seeing Narad Muni, Uddhava stood up, offered him a seat, washed his lotus feet, etc. And then said, today my day has been perfect and there is some pain I have been feeling for a very long time, but seeing the condition of people in general, and it is this place that Vyasadeva also compiled many Puranas, and after being satisfied, he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. But people are so fallen that they know nothing but impiety. Tell me how the people will be delivered. So this is how Uddhava asked Narad Muni, because Uddhava was sitting in the same place where the Vyasadeva compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. To which then Narad Muni replied, I will reveal one of the most confidential subjects to you. By the mercy of the Lord, I have understood that the Supreme Lord is very shortly appearing in the form of Gauranga. and he will give out the most easiest means of deliverance. That by simply chanting and dancing, they can be delivered in this age of Kali. So then he narrated to Uddhava as to how the Lord revealed the form which he is going to appear. So hearing this, Uddhava was also stunned in happiness and he started crying. Narad Muni immediately left, and as he was traveling, he would call out the name Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. And sometimes he would laugh and sometimes he would cry. And then he came to Mount Kailash to tell Lord Shiva all about what he has seen and heard. So Lord Shiva was there, Nandi was also there, and Parvati was there. So they welcomed Narad Muni. Then Narad Muni revealed what he saw and he heard to Lord Shiva. At that time, he recollected a very old pastime. The pastime is that he said Narad Muni has been serving Rukmini for a very, very long time. Then he said, although I've been engaged in devotional service for a long time, I have no idea of the potency of Lord's Mahaprasad. Now, he said, I have been serving Lakshmi Devi and I was wanting to ask some benediction from her. And at that time, he thought, I never knew what is the potency of this Mahaprasad. So somehow he felt that he was deprived of this Mahaprasad and he should ask Rukmini Devi. So one day he went to Vaikunta. He rendered a lot of service to Lakshmi Devi, and being pleased with Narad Muni's service, Rukmini Devi asked Narad Muni, take some boon from me, and because I am pleased with your service. And at that time, Narad Muni said, I have decided to ask for the Lord's Mahaprasad. Now, the moment Narad Muni asked for Lord's Mahaprasad, immediately Rukmini was shocked. And she told that Lord Narayana has told me not to distribute this Mahaprasad to anyone, my remnants to anyone. But I will try to disobey this order and somehow I will collect it and give it to you. But you must wait for some time. So Narad Muni waited. Rukmini Devi, Lakshmi Devi then went to the Lord and said, I have somehow, I have to ask you something, but I'm afraid of speaking to you. I have a problem and I need your help. She said that Narad Muni came to me with a lot of anxiety. He served me for 12 years and now he is asking, asked him to take a boon benediction and now he is asking for the remnants of your Mahaprasad. He wants nothing else, but I have no power to disobey your order. Because Narayana had already told her not to give Mahaprasad to anyone. So I offered this boon carelessly and he is insistent on this Mahaprasad. Then the Lord told her, you made a big mistake. Without my knowledge, secretly give him some remnants. So then Lakshmi Devi came and gave some remnants and by the touch of Mahaprasad, Narad Muni's effulgence grew hundreds of times. And he started chanting in ecstasy and dancing. Then what happened was he had this Mahaprasad. Then he was so spiritually surcharged. And then he was telling Lord Shiva how this Mahaprasad had so much of effect on him. So after bringing that Mahaprasad, at one time he went to Lord Shiva and Lord Shiva asked him, you went and took some Mahaprasad, were you not ashamed? You didn't bring anything for me? Then Narad Muni had a small morsel of that remnants in his hand. Immediately he gave it to Lord Shiva. And the moment Lord Shiva had that Mahaprasad from Narad Muni, immediately Lord Shiva started dancing in ecstasy, and it said that the whole earth started trembling out of Shiva's dancing. And this type of a dance, Lord Shiva does at the time of annihilation. But Lord Shiva was not conscious because he had that Mahaprasad of the Lord. And it was looking as if the whole planet was being pushed down to Rasatala. So then Mother Earth intervened. She prayed to Goddess Parvati and she came to Shiva and spoke some very harsh words to him that the earth is feeling threatened and asked him the reason for ecstasy. Shiva replied, narrating the whole episode, and said that in the three worlds, it is very difficult to get the Lord's Mahaprasad, which is touched by Krishna's nectarian lips. And somehow Narad Muni got it. Mahanarad Muni gave it to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva ate it, but he did not give it to Parvati Devi. So Parvati Devi was very, very upset on this. And she told Lord Shiva, I thought that you are very kind to me, and as a husband and wife, we are one together. You have accepted me as a half of your body. How can you eat something that is very rarely attainable and eat it yourself? So Shiva replied that you have no right to receive this transcendental wealth. I mean, when Shiva, he said that you don't have a right to Parvati. So Parvati, when she heard this, she got very, very angry. She said, I am a Vaishnavi, and if I have some devotion to Vishnu, I shall take a vow that the Lord's Mahaprasad is distributed to everyone in the universe, including dogs and jackals. So at that time, Lord Vishnu came himself to Mount Kailash, and seeing the situation, he promised Parvati Devi that he will ensure that this Mahaprasad is distributed to everyone in the universe. Then the Lord revealed another secret to the devotees there and said, there is an ancient episode, and no one knows the inner meaning of that episode. This was the churning of the Mandara mountain. And the first object that was produced was a Kalpataru. This Kalpataru tree is something, it's a desire fulfilling tree. Anyone has got any desire, they can get it through this by having this Kalpataru tree. And he said that this gives a lot of unlimited wealth and happiness that a person desires. And from that tree came out a transcendently beautiful personality in the name of the Lord Chaitanya, an embodiment of pure mercy. There has never been a form equal to the form of Lord Chaitanya, and he will appear displaying this transcendental pastime and preaching the glories of Krishna consciousness. And he will distribute his mercy to the people in general. But I will manifest this golden form to propagate the Sankirtana movement. At that time, I will fulfill your vow. Please keep this topic very, very confidential. That means Lord is telling Parvati Devi. This talk between the Lord and Parvati is narrated in the Padma Purana. This is a quote from Padma Purana. Saying this, Narad Muni is narrated how the Lord will appear in a Brahmana family. Hearing this, Lord Shiva and Parvati became very blissful. And then Narad Muni leaves singing this Veena. Then thereafter, the Lord Narad Muni came to Brahmaloka, seeing him in a lot of perspiration. Brahma was concerned at the time, and then Brahma asked Narad Muni as to where he was and what is the progress. Narad Muni narrated the whole episode. He said that he saw what he saw, and then Lord Brahma said how he recollected the verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, where it is quoted about the appearance of the Lord in Kali Yuga, that he will come in his own as his own devotee and spread the glories of devotional service. So when Narad Muni saw what he revealed, what he saw to Lord Brahma, Brahma immediately recollected that verse from 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna Varnam Tusa Krishnam Sangopangasta Parsanam. That means the Lord will appear as his own devotee and spread the glories of devotional service. So the Lord actually appears in 4 yugas, but only 3 colors appears in 3 colors, 3 yugas as his own self. In Kali Yuga, he does not come as the Supreme Lord, but comes as a devotee of the Lord. Then Narad Muni told Brahma to tell everyone in Brahmaloka to appear in the earth to assist the Lord in all his pastimes. Then he went to the planets of all the demigods, giving the news of the Lord's appearance. Then he came to the earth planet, and then he sees the effect of Kali Yuga, very, very devastating, and people are becoming very, very sinful. Then at that time, he heard a divine voice from the sky that said, I am Lord Jagannath, Lord of the universe. I have appeared as Dharu Brahma, and I am residing in Nilachala, beside the sea. And in order to fulfill the promise given to Parvati Devi, I have appeared as Jagannath to give Mahaprasad to everyone. So if you all know, Lord promised that he would give Mahaprasad to everyone. So the Lord is also coming as Lord Jagannath. So he appeared in the form of Daru Brahman, that is a wood which you have seen in Jagannath Puri. And he said, I'm residing beneath the sea. I've come here to fulfill that promise to Parvati Devi. He said, I have appeared as Jagannath to give Mahaprasad to everyone. Then Jagannath actually revealed his form to Narad Muni and then told him to go to Goloka. where Gaur Sundara is residing, and see him after seeing this beautiful. So now, after seeing this beautiful form of Gauranga, Narad Muni travels to Shvetadipa, where Balaram resides. Then Narad Muni explains as to how the Lord is going to appear very shortly in Navadvip, taking a golden complexion of Radharani, Srimati Radharani, and the mood of Radharani. Then Balaram told Narad Muni, let us go to earth and I will teach everyone the confidential glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So taking this order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, various associates appeared on earth in various names and forms. So this is how the Lord appeared in Navadvip. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the womb of Mother Sachi during the month of Falguna, which happens tomorrow on the full night during lunar eclipse, accompanied by the chanting of the holy names. So at that time, all the demigods like Brahma, Shiva, all appeared as human beings, and then they were chanting the holy names of the Lord. They could not be recognized due to the darkness because of the eclipse, but they all came to see the Lord's form as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Some demigods were holding an umbrella, some were holding a chamara, etc., and some were playing musical instruments. So Nilambar Chakravarti, who was a friend of Jagannath Mishra, he saw the horoscope of the child and said that this child's horoscope is beyond all description. He is more learned than Brihaspati and he will manifest a reservoir of all good qualities. So there was a Brahmana in that assembly who said that this child is not different from Lord Narayana and will preach wonderfully and deliver the entire world. Then Mother Sachi saw a lot of demigoddesses. They were coming in different disguises. And she was feeling too shy to inquire about their identities. So this is how the Lord appeared in the womb of Sachi Devi. As soon as he appeared, the Lord actually started crying. And when he started crying, uh, those who were present there were chanting the names of the Lord. As soon as they chanted the names of the Lord, the child would stop crying. And as soon as they start chanting the names of the Lord, Lord Gauranga would stop crying. So this way, right from the time that he appeared in this material world, he already started the propagation of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. And then the more loudly he would cry, the more loudly the others would chant. And in this way, the Lord made everyone chant right from his birth. And as soon as they chant the name of the Lord, he would smile with a moon-like face. So ever since the Lord's appearance, it is said that the famine in the entire area disappeared, and that's how the Lord was named as Vishwambara, because as soon as he appeared, the famine went away. So Mother Sachi gave birth to many daughters before that, who all died prematurely. And so the Lord was named as Nimai, so that he would not die prematurely. So he had two names. One is Nimai, so that he would not die prematurely, and the other one was Vishamvara, because the Mother Sachi gave birth to many daughters who all died prematurely. Now, as he grew, then there is a samskara they perform, and at that time, to see what is the Lord's future, child's future activity would be, they kept a Srimad Bhagavatam book, some paddy, gold, silver, etc. And normally this is a practice in which the child, they see what does the child pick up. So Nimai picked up Srimad Bhagavatam and embraced it. So they realized that he would be a great scholar. Then as he grew up, of course, still he was a small child. There was a snake that entered the house of Nimai. And as soon as the Lord saw, he caught hold of the snake. And seeing this, many others who were watching that, they got scared and they all started screaming, Garuda, Garuda. But the Lord was lying coiled on that snake. Hearing everyone cry, actually the snake, who was none other than Ananta himself, Ananta is Balaram, immediately departed, and everyone saw the child and they took him, and they all realized that it was not a normal snake, it was a special snake That is why he did not bite the Lord. So then during the daytime, the Lord would actually, Nimai would go out of his house and he would go to the friend's house and all this. He would steal many things, whatever he liked, he would pick up. Sometimes he would drink someone else's milk, he would eat someone else's rice, and if nothing is found, he would break the pots. And if there was a child in that home, he would make the child cry. So this way, Nimai would enjoy his childhood pastimes. As he grew up, Nimai showed some intelligence in his studies. He could write the letters of the alphabets after seeing just only once. Then he started to write joint letters and words, and then he would write the names of Krishna. All the time he would write the names of Krishna. He never left the books even for a moment. And he would master a sutra just by reading it once. There are so many sutras in the Shastras. So he would just read it once and he would master it. And in this way, he became a great scholar and he was in a position to defeat anybody else who came in front of him. So sometime what he would do is he would ask a question and the person would give many explanation. He would refute the same. That means Nimai would refute whatever the other person would give explanation. And he would reply the same in a different way. In this way, he saw to it, Nimai as a boy would see to it that nobody would argue with him. So everyone saw this and they saw this and they said to Jagannath Mishra that you are a very fortunate person. You have to have a son like Nimai. In the three worlds, there can be no person as intelligent as this boy, and he will defeat Brihaspati in the learning. So thereafter, the other things like name-giving ceremony and other things happened. One time, still Vishwarupa was his brother, who is not different from Balaram and Nityananda Prabhu. He was born before itself, and this Vishwarupa would pick up his brother in his arms, always smiling at the Lord. So many times they would be engaged in chanting and hearing and all those things. So some chanted mantras of enchantment for Lord's room for his protection. Vishnu Raksha mantra, Lord Vishnu's protection and Devi mantra, invoking Durga Devi's protection and so forth. When the Lord would cry, shedding tears from his lotus eyes, only when the Lord would cry, anyone would chant the name of the Lord would shed tears from his eyes, and all those who were present would try to pacify him. Then somehow or other, they all understood that this boy is not an ordinary boy, he's an extraordinary boy. Many times the demigods would come, they would come in a jovial mood and decide, and sometimes they would play practical jokes on the people who are all surrounding Nimai. It is said that once a demigod came in a subtle body, stole quietly about whatever was there in the house, and then it was unseen by human eyes. When the people saw that shadow, there was some shadow, immediately they said, see, how there is a thief who is stealing and going. Actually, it was a demigod. So sometimes seeing all these things, they would chant Narsimha for the protection of the child. So while others murmured what is called Aprajit Stotra, these are prayers to Parvati Devi, wife of Lord Shiva, for protection. Many others would go around the house chanting all different mantras and prayers, and there would be a great commotion in Mother Sachi's house. So some shouted, catch the thief, catch the thief, catch the thief, while others chanted Narsimha. But all these were actually demigods. They got an opportunity to be present in a place where Nimai was there. So there was a Brahmin priest who was endowed with a lot of powers of removing the ghosts and all these things. He said, you are lucky today, you got away with all this, but better know the tremendous power of Lord Narsimhadeva. So like this, unseen by anyone, the demigods sometimes laughed at themselves, among themselves. In this way, a month or so passed. So in the meantime, Mother Sachi completed her 1 month of confinement or contamination period after childbirth. She went to Ganges for a bath and she came back with all others singing and chanting and dancing and all. Then as per social custom, Sachi Devi offered all the ladies roasted paddy, bananas, oil, vermilion powder. This was a custom that was prevailing. Ladies in turn blessed the child and offered respects to Sachi Devi before they returned to their respective homes. So this way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nimai performed his childhood pastimes. Without the Lord's mercy, it is said that these pastimes are incomprehensible. We can't comprehend in our own, with our common sense, how as a child he could perform these pastimes. The ladies also would try to make fun of the child, and they would also try to make him cry and then pacify him and so forth. They were all engaged always in chanting the name Hari 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 Hari, and he would bring a smile across everyone's face. So this way chanting pleased, and Lord was also pleased. So that is how this congregational chanting already started right from the time Nimai was born. Sometimes this, as Nimai was very, very mischievous, when no one was present at home, he would intentionally scatter a lot of things that were there in the ground, pouring milk or butter or oil on the floor. So when Mother Sachi would come, she would see that what is happening, everything is scattered around here and there, and the child is crying. So Sachi Devi would, Mother would pacify him by repeating Lord Hari's name, and then immediately the Lord would keep quiet. Then she would ask, who has scattered all this rice, wheat, and dal? Why are these pots broken, curd, milk, and curd, and everything is broken? She would not know as to who has done it. She thought that this 4-month-old baby cannot do that. So there was a lot of curiosity in her, and she could not find who must be this culprit who is doing this all the time. Somebody suggested a demon or ghost must have come, but due to the effect of the mantras that they are all chanting, it could not harm the baby. Then angry that it could do nothing to the child, the ghost might have thrown everything around and escaped. So this type of incident actually made even Jagannath Mishra very, very perplexed. And he was wondering what is happening in this house. So many magic-like things are happening. So Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi would always discuss within themselves. They felt very, very sorrow seeing the child's face. Days passed like this until the day of name-giving ceremony. So Nilambar Chakravarti, who was a close friend of Jagannath Mishra, was an astrologist, and all these great personalities assembled at Nimai's house. So many ladies were also there. They said the goddess Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, herself attended the ceremony in beautiful saris. Of course, nobody realized. Everyone discussed what name would be suitable for this child. So some ladies gave one suggestion while others made another. Then one of them said, this child will have no younger brother or sisters. Therefore, being the last child of the family, he should be named as Nimai. And then they all discussed amongst themselves, and they all agreed that Nimai would be the most suitable name for him. So it was agreed upon, and as soon as this thing was over. It is also said when Nimai was born, there was a lot of famine around, but after he appeared, the farmers were blessed with a lot of good rains, and the famine also disappeared. Then someone suggested it was similar to the ancient story of Lord Narayana protecting and upholding the universe during the devastation. So his name should also be Sri Vishwambara. Vishwambara means the sustainer of the world. And this was also confirmed in the horoscope, that he is the brightest torchbearer of this family. So the name Nimai that the ladies have suggested would be the second name, and Vishwambara would be the first name. Vishwambara means the sustainer of the universe. So the name was given at an auspicious moment, and when all the planetary indications were right, and the demigods, humans, everybody assembled on this occasion. They all chanted the Lord's name while blowing conch shells and ringing bells. So rice, paddy, books, all silver, etc., were placed for the child to hold, thus testing the child's tendency. And Vishwambara, Jagannath Mishra said, my dear Vishwambara, take whatever your heart's desire. So Sachi Devi's son, the Supreme Lord, ignored all items and picked up Srimad Bhagavatam and embraced it very tightly. Then immediately seeing this, all the ladies said that this child will be a great scholar. Somebody said that this child would turn out to be an elevated Vaishnava devotee with extraordinary capacity to grasp the deepest import of the scriptures. Then, as the Lord started to crawl with his knees, he looked very, very charming. His ankle bells were also on his feet, were very pleasing to hear. As an Nimai, he would go around fearlessly, going everywhere, catching whatever he felt like, anything. It is said that one time a snake came. Yeah, this past time I already narrated. We go to the next. During his childhood days, he would always be very, very mischievous. Sometimes he would go to neighbor's house, pick up whatever is there, throw it, take it away. And many of them came and complained to Sachi Devi also that your son has come and thrown away everything and taken few things and all. And Sachi Devi would also try to contain Nimai, but then he would continue with his mischievous activities. Sometimes he would go outside and taste in somebody's house roasted rice, banana, or sandesha, etc. And then he would distribute these items to the other ladies who used to sing the Lord's name. So this way he kept everyone engaged. In some places, he would drink all the milk that was there. He ate all the rice that was there. Whatever was, wherever he didn't see anything to eat, he would feel very happy breaking the earthen pots. If he found a small child in a house, he would tease them and in tears and see that the child cries. And as soon as the child cries, he would go run away from there. This way, Nimai would actually play a lot of mischief wherever he went. But somehow he was so smiling faced. He had such a smiling face that no one could be angry with him. Just by seeing him, they were all captivated with seeing the beauty of the Lord. Then there is a pastime how one day two thieves came. They saw the Lord who was wearing a lot of fine ornaments. Then they thought, we will steal this child, take this child, and take away all the ornaments that the child has got. So one of the thieves, he picked up Nimai, saying that, please come along with us. Where are you going alone? So immediately the other one said, come quickly, come, come, come. So the Lord was smiling. So they all left, taking the child with them. And as they were going away, the others onlookers, they were all wondering, who are these two people taking the child? And thousands of people were on the street. Therefore, nobody knew what was happening. And the thieves were very, very happy that they got hold of the child. So, overtaken by greed, the thieves were imagining how rich they would be by taking all the golden bangles and necklaces and all these things. So, they carried him on their shoulders towards their hideout where they were planning to go. So, one thief, he passed the Sandesha into the Lord's hand, while the other said, we have almost reached home. They were trying to console the child. So, the thieves had kidnapped the Lord and run far away. In the meantime, everyone was searching. All the relatives started searching that Nimai was missing, and somebody said that some two people have come and taken the boy, and they all started screaming, Nimai, where are you? Where are you? So everyone was very, very frantic. In the meantime, the Lord is the master of Maya. The thieves actually forgot their den from where they came. And instead, they went around and round and round and came back to the house of Sri Jagannath Mishra. And then they thought that if others see, we will get caught. So the bewildered thieves thought that we are in the wrong place. We have come back to the Lord's house itself. Better, they thought that we'll keep the child down and we'll run away from here. So they put the child down and then they all ran away from there. So when the others who were there, they saw that, immediately they started shouting, Hari, 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 Hari. So what had happened is the Lord put them into illusory energy and they could neither take the Lord nor the ornaments that he had. And the thieves also realized that this child was not an ordinary child. So they ran away from there. This is one pastime for them. Then what happened is that the residents of the house and other neighbors and all, they all started gathering tricks, and they were discussing who is playing these tricks with us. Sometimes so many things are scattered around the house. So then they said that Chanti Devi or goddess Durga has saved us today. But somehow the thieves also got a lot of piety. Piety means good fortune because they carried the Supreme Lord on their shoulders. Then Jagannath Mitra's house, the relatives asked, who brought this child back? We should offer him nice gifts and tie a silk turban on his head. Another said that I saw two persons come with the child, put him down and leave, but I don't know in which direction they left. So everyone was surprised as to who took the child and who brought them back also. Then they started asking the child, our dear child, please tell us who brought you back. We are puzzled. The Lord replied, I went to the bank of Ganges, but I lost my way home and was roaming about on my own. Two persons took me in their arms and brought me home. So this is how the Lord replied. So hearing these words and all, uh, uh, they started discussing that the words of the scriptures are not wrong, and it's Krishna who protects everyone. So they all thought that yes, maybe we don't know what has happened. Then another pastime, during his this thing as a child, there was a devotee in the name of Gangadasa Pandita. This Gangadasa Pandita, who was none other than Sandipani Muni in Krishna's pastimes. And this Gangadasa Pandita had a lot of scriptural understanding. And Nimai started studying under him. Once the Lord would learn something, he would assimilate whatever he has learned from Gangadas Pandita. Thereafter, he would refute the same explanation of his own guru and establish what that establish the explanation that he had given. That means Nimai would take the explanation of what his guru has said, then he would give his own explanation and defeat what the guru had given. I mean, he was trying to, this is a pastime of the Lord himself. And it is said that there are thousands of students, but no one had the capacity to defeat Nimai. And Gangadas Pandita also accepted Nimai as the best student. So after the class, the Lord would call all of the students and discuss further. Then there was a devotee, we all might know, Murari Gupta. Murari Gupta was Hanuman in Rama's pastime. And this Murari Gupta was a Vaidya, a doctor, and also one of the classmates. And seeing Nimai, what he would do is he will avoid seeing the Lord. But the Lord would call him and again call him. He would say, oh, doctor, why are you studying here? You should go and rather gather some leaves and herbs to cure the sick. The literatures on grammar are very difficult for you to understand. Better go home and treat the sick. This way, Nimai would chastise Murari Gupta. And Murari Gupta would say, dear respected sir, why are you so proud of your knowledge? Why do you challenge everyone? Have you asked me about the sutra and not received a reply? Then the Lord would say, tell me what you have learned today. Murari Gupta then would say something. Then the Lord would again refute what Murari Gupta has said. So this way both would go on discussing and discussing, no one would defeat the other. And the Lord became always pleased with Murari Gupta. Then he would place his hand on Murari Gupta's body and immediately he felt very ecstatic. So Murari Gupta also realized with all these things that this boy was no ordinary person. And then he told, listen, Vishwambara, from now on I will study only under you. Thereafter, it is said that the Lord opened his own school and he used to divide the students in groups and teach them. So the Lord taught also to the other students that everything in this universe has got its connection with Krishna and they have to be utilized only in the service of Krishna. So the Lord was trying to make all those also devotees of Krishna. He was right from the beginning. Then there was a devotee in the name of Mukunda. So the Lord was also satisfied with Mukunda, and whenever he saw him, he would also stop him and ask for a clarification in some point. Mukunda would answer, and then the Lord would refute the same thing, saying that it was wrong. And this way, there would always be a quarrel, but the Lord would encourage devotees like this. And one day, in the same way when the discussion was going on, Lord told Mukunda, "How long will you run away from me? It is not possible. When I finish my studies, you will see my Vaishnava qualities. I will be full with, I'll be such a Vaishnava that even Brahma and Shiva will come to my door. And those who run away from me today will chant my glories and qualities tomorrow." The Lord already predicted that this a time would come when Brahma and Shiva would come to see him. I have next few minutes. Before that, I'll narrate more past time. One time there was a mendicant Brahmana. He was traveling around to the and at that time he came to the house of the Lord. He had a deity of Balagopal and also a Shaligram Sila, and he would eat only after offering to his Gopala. So Jagannath Mishra also saw him, and he saw the Brahmana was also effulgent, and he said that you are a traveling mendicant, and why don't you stay here, and we will make all arrangement for you. So Jagannath Mishra was also very happy. He said that you are traveling everywhere for the welfare of the whole society. So today I'm fortunate to have a Brahmana like you. I arrange for you cooking. So Jagannath Mishra and Shashi Devi cleaned the kitchen, arranged the vessels for him to cook. Then the Brahmana started cooking, and after cooking, he sat to offer boga to his Gopala deity. So at that time, Nimai came to give darshan to this Brahmana, and he came in naked with his body full of dirt. But still, he was looking very, very beautiful. Nimai came, took a handful of rice, and ate that rice which the Brahmana had cooked. When the Brahmana saw this, he started crying. He said, "Alas, this child has stolen the rice." Then Jagannath Mishra came in and saw Nimai was eating and smiling. And Jagannath Mishra became very angry. He started to beat Nimai. Then Brahmana intervened and said, "No, no, no, you should not beat this boy. You are a Brahmana and you are from a Aryan background. You know what? There's no use of beating a child." So Jagannath Mishra actually sat down in distress, and he held his head in his hands, held his hands on his head. Then the Brahmana said, "Please don't feel bad. Whatever has happened is only due to the Lord." The, then Jagannath Mishra, of course, was feeling very compassionate to the Brahmana. The Brahmana said, "I will bring some fruits and roots. I will have that. That's all." Then Jagannath Mishra said, "If you consider me as your servant, please cook again. I will make all the arrangements. We have all the ingredients for cooking. But please cook again and I will be satisfied." The Brahmana said, "Okay, I will cook again." Then he started cooking. They cleaned the kitchen. He started cooking. The neighbors also said, "This child is very restless. He may spoil the offering again. So take the child until the Brahmana finishes the cooking and eating." So Mother Sachi took the child to the neighbor's house, and the ladies were telling Nimai, "What is this? We are every time doing this." The Lord said, "What is my fault?" The Brahmana called me, because when we offered to the Lord, we recite the mantras. Nobody knew. This lady said that you have spoiled your caste by eating from him. You don't know what caste this is. But we are just eating. The Lord said, "I am a cowherd boy, and I eat rice that is cooked by the Brahmanas." Then the Brahmana started cooking again and started to make offering. The Brahmana called for his Balagopal and Gaura and the Sheila to offer this, and he started ringing the bell. Then what happened was the Lord, out of his illusory energy, put everyone to sleep. He went there, took a handful of rice and ate which only the Brahmana could see. The Brahmana started again crying, "Alas, alas, this child is eaten and ran away from here." Jagannath Mishra again got up with a stick and chased the Lord in anger. Everyone stopped Jagannath Mishra, but he was not prepared to hear. Then he said that today I will teach him a lesson. That everyone said that the child is very, very restless. We don't know what to do. The Brahmana said, "Whatever is happening by the will of Krishna. Today I am not allotted any rice. This is my realization." Then Jagannath Mishra again sat down distressed and lamented. At that time, Vishwarupa, the elder brother, came, offered obeisances and glorified the Brahmana. And the Brahmana became pleased with Vishwarupa. The Brahmana requested for fruits, saying that he goes to forest where he sustains on fruits and rose. Then Vishwarupa at this time, he apologized and asked the Brahmana to cook again. The Brahmana hesitated, but they all requested, and the Brahmana agreed. Everyone escorted. They put Nima in another room, and they locked the room, thinking that he will not be able to come out. Then Jagannath Mishra said, "This is a good idea." The Brahmana started cooking, everything was over. Then he started offering again, ting, 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 and reciting the Lord's mantra. Then by the help of this Nitra Devi, the Lord put everyone to sleep, came to the Brahmana, and seeing this, the Brahmana started crying. But nobody could hear because he had put everyone to sleep. The Lord then told him, "You are a very magnanimous person. You called and I have come here. What is my fault? You chant my mantra and invite me, so I cannot resist coming to you. You desire to see me, so I am here to show my form." At that time, the Lord exhibited his eight-handed forms, four hands holding Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. One hand he held a pot of butter and he started eating with another hand, and with two hands he started playing the flute. This way the Brahmana saw the eight-handed form of the Lord. Seeing this, the Brahmana became unconscious. Then the Lord placed his lotus hand on the Brahmana and told him that don't disclose this to anybody else. This has to be only between you and me. So then everyone woke up and then they asked Brahmana, "Yes, you had your rice?" He said, "Yes, yes, I had." And then the Lord went to sleep. So this is one wonderful pastime which the Lord performed and engaged everyone. So I just have 2 minutes. With this, I conclude the class for the day. I can take one or two questions if anybody has got. So if there are no questions, no comments, I take the class as closed. So Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you all very much.